Shalom, family. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb. Economic problems, huh? People are under duress, economic duress, financial duress. They can't pay their bills, and then they go to work. Then they can't pay their bills, and then they work more, and the government takes more, and they still can't pay their bills. One of the things that used to shock me when I used to work overtime. It only allowed me to keep the money that I had already earned tax free. That's all it did, because they simply took it in taxes. I sit down and I added it up a couple of times. It pretty much balances out. At any rate, economic duress. I, I would suppose everyone not not making 250,000 a year or more are quite unhappy. Which, by the way, they're not making 250,000 a year anymore. Their net worth went up in within the last 6 years to 480,000. Imagine that. While everyone else remains stagnant due to inflation, lack of a living wage, lack of progress, actually, lack a lack of a lot of things, soaring rents, food prices. I am shocked. I'm gonna next time. I mean, the only time that I'm gonna ever have a brisket again is to steal it. So I'm gonna call the police first and let them just know I'm at a certain store, and I'm gonna make make this feeble attempt to steal. I mean, take this brisket. I'm hoping they just let me walk out of the store, and you'll be waiting outside. But I mean, it's not gonna be like me stealing it and trying to conceal it. No, I have to have one more brisket in my lifetime. This is ridiculous. A man has been reduced to stealing meat. Anyway, you know what you're lacking. Let me speak to the white followers and those of you who are crying and screeching and lamenting. Stop. It gets worse. It gets worse. And this ain't the first time we've actually seen this. Not in this country. The Great Depression, that was a humdinger. We've seen gas lines in my lifetime a half mile long. A half mile long. I was thinking about a white man earlier, and I thought to myself, that's what you need. This version of a white man. His name was John Brown. I would consider him at least one of the baddest white men that ever walked the planet Earth. I mean, audacious, straightforward, believed in God and willing to kill you. Well, John Brown believed in what he believed in, and he believed in freedom for everybody, including the slaves. He was a preacher man when he wasn't out scheming and plotting on the government and the slave masters and their money and the Confederacy. They eventually hung him and his sons, as it would be. I, I think that they had just had too much after his last act. His last act was him and his son took over a weapons depot. Excuse me. him, him and his sons took over a weapons depot, Confederate weapons depot. He had spread the word weeks prior. He had the perfect plan. He had the perfect plan. And he talked to the black leaders on the plantation. Wow, that just took a crazy ass turn there. I didn't see that one coming. Black leaders, influencers on the plantation, quasi slave and quasi free. Anyway, I'm not going into all of that. And they all called called John a crazy white man. They were afraid of him. They were afraid of him. They had led him to believe that if he could do this, they would show up. But they didn't show up. They were afraid. So, dang it, excuse me. None of none of the black people, black men, black leaders. I mean, who he thought. I mean, he seen them in the ballrooms, dressing as fancy as their masters. He made the fatal mistake of thinking those who lived as close in proximity in terms of um, food and water and the access to it were leaders as chosen by the plantation slaves. That's why they were out there in front, sometimes riding in the same buggy with the master. But he was wrong, as he would later find out. And they were cowardly about it. They knew the right thing, and now I am so drifting. They knew the right thing. You said that you would show up with men if he could pull it off. They didn't believe that he could pull it off, and he did. He killed a few people, blew up a few things, and then he stood. He stood in control of an entire depot of weapons, dynamites, and ammunitions, even a couple of cannons. There it was. And then he waited. And then he waited. And then he waited. Dot, 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 etc. We'll get back to that. But my point is, you need that version, that personality in you today. Nothing else got to get better. You don't have to do it from the stand point like John did. We're helping black people, and he had this belief that if the black other people just stood up and fought for each other, and then they told him, well, we don't have guns, and John said, well, then we're going to take care of that problem for you. Do you have guts? We ask you about your guts, and not your guns. Anyway, that's what you need. So you're going to have to. You see what the problem is. You see what the problem is. You see uh, who the purveyors and the maintainers of the problem is. Yet you cry. You're adult and you cry. You know, adults don't generally get in trouble. No, adults do right or wrong, or they go to prison if they make the wrong or the choice, and they get caught, not get in any trouble. There are mechanisms politically available to you if you just got the guts. You have the networking, you have the undergirding of white privilege, if I may. You have the youth. You see the problem. All you're missing is your understanding of the political process and your way into it. And your way into it, you see. You need someone who thinks like you. You're angry. See, John was angry too. John was angry too. He was so angry that he was willing to go to war and took his sons with him, and they all hung from the end of a rope. At the end of the day, why? Because no one showed up. But I digress. Political mechanisms are available to you. They always were. Stop crying. Go put your name on the ballot. I mean, learn the political process. You have the you have the undergirding foundation. Okay, they don't believe that you're capable. They don't. They don't believe that you will put in the time and the effort. And yes, they are going to fight the living hell out of you. But I would imagine that in any district in this country, there is at least 40% who are hurting just like you and just happen to look like you too. Do you talk to each other? Do you still go to bars? Hard to afford, huh? On your salary. I get it. Plus rent, plus insurance, plus car note, plus cell phone bill, plus food, and no benefits. Wow, wow, man, Uncle Sam takes his at the top. Imagine that. He gets your money first and he takes from it what he wants and then pass you the rest. And you shouldn't look sideways at him. He may get angry and think that you owe him more and want to recount it. And when he recounts it, you're gonna owe him more. He'll be taking another $20 from you. At any rate, you have it within your reach. I told you this was never about race. It really never was. You have no idea how much it has not been. I mean, there has been curses on the chosen and curses upon Esau. But at this point, there are things going on upon this planet that those things have come to pass. Not pass and you would think pass. I mean, there are conclusions and end results, and those are still open. Those are pretty much still open as to your fate. I'm talking about your personal fate, your fate. The ones who are 20 years old, 30 years old, 35 years old, you got a lot of life left, and it's going to get awfully fucking tough. But does it look like anyone is even so much as trying to do anything to address the current issues as they would pertain to you? The short answer is no. Your way out, and man, when you guys fall, you really do fall. You don't fall like black people. With black people, it's a more of a slow motion process. But when you guys fall, man, listen, you go straight to bad shit. That's just the reality, man. Straight to bad shit. And you may not think that you have it in you now, but you do. I'm not talking about the bad shit, but this ability to fall in this type of economic environment. They don't care. They don't care, and they never did. You were used. You were used, and now you claim that they lie to you. When have they not lied to you? Listen, they got away. Young people, do your history. I'm not talking about slavery. No, you don't have to go back that far. You have to do your your history and your research of political, economic shenanigans. You want to know how you got here in an instant sort of way? Ukrainian war, billions, 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 billions. Israel, billions, 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 billions. And God knows, as far as my as migration, the the conservative estimate is 200 million. You're not even done yet. That's just scratching the surface. That's what we see, and I'm sure I've missed a couple of others. And who is in control of all of this? Three men. Three men pretty much control everything you see, hear, eat, consume, your choice of opportunity, your choices, period. And they control who gets what. They really do, down to a macro level. And they're done with us. By us, I mean black folk. They are. They and now it's on to you. I won't be giving you a damn history lesson, but they all there's always someone being came after. and there's always someone going after them. This has been historically true. The the harm did not start with white people hurting black people, sir. It started in Europe with white people hurting white people based on all types of things, to the reduction of of their human quality. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean their ability to process, and I'm being so over encompassing, but their ability, and oh goodness, just redact the statement. At any rate, you know what I'm saying. Slavery didn't just harm black people; it harmed you. It shaped you and made you who you are. Remove slavery, and you are something totally different. You have lived your history as set out before you. Anyway, we won't be doing that either. And I only have 14 minutes. We're gonna make this short. But you do have access, and you do have the privilege that the rest of us in society do not have politically. And John Brown understood that. He would walk up in the Congress, in the gatherings of the movers and the shakers, and he would talk to them straight. He didn't hide shit from them. He let them know where he stood. He was a preacher, and in one hand he had a Bible, and on his waist he had a 45 6-shooter. And those bullets are the size of your damn thumb. Back in the gap, this was one big shock causing slow ass bullet, relatively speaking. Cause a whole lot of shock. Slow ass bullets. I don't like them. Anyway, drifting again. About to start talking about fast bullets and slow bullets and what's the difference and all of this type of thing, and shock values and impact value. Anyway, he did the same thing you did, but he went the extra yard. You're gonna have to go the extra yard. You are gonna have to run for office. You are gonna have to start to talk to your friends. Maybe over drink some barbecue. Oh, you can't afford barbecue anymore. Me neither. Shit is high out there, ain't it? Every time I walk by the meat section, I just recognize it. Yes, still a pet. I'm gonna just do it so damn often that they just laugh at me and just follow me around. We know what you're here for. Yeah, those two steaks right there. Mr. Morris, will you be having any money today? Uh, Fortunately, I can't tell you a lie. I have the cost of the meat in my pocket, but it's for something else. I'm going to be taking this today. Will you be calling the police again? Will they be taking the meat and threatening me with citation for petty theft, attempted petty theft? But in some places they will call it robbery. I shit you not. They have their own enhancement clause. It's robbery. When did theft become robbery? Well, when you black and you trying to steal these two ribeye steaks. Looks like robbery to me. Did you, act aggressive? They said you did. Well, it's robbery. Anyway, you have within your reach right now. You really do. And you're young and you're angry. And anger is the second most motivating emotion you can have, next to love and fear. Love, on the other hand, can make you act both egregiously and foolishly. But but that's fodder for a whole different topic. Anyway, you had it within your reach, and you have the drive. Are you going to just sit there? Sooner or later, you know where this goes, right? At some future point, you may be living in your cars, and next it'll be in town suites or something. I just gave in town suites bump for free. You should try them. I stayed there months, but it's not for me. Close proximity is not for me for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. But you have it within your reach. You're going to have to run for office. Network, choose someone, and they're going to have to be strong, and they're going to have to be loud, and they're going to have to take the pulse of the district that they're in, and then extend it out. Think beyond the district, beyond it. I mean, you would be surprised. We want what we want, and we know what you need. and and what you need right now, sir, is leadership. You don't have leadership. They don't talk to you. They don't care. They absolutely don't care what you think. I mean, I've never seen it politically so rough for white middle class, and I'm starting to hate that word because working class is now middle class, and it straddles the being impoverished. It's one big ass window. Like I said, the only people who are safe from anything at this point are those making $250,000, or those who work for the government who don't make $250,000, but they make up for it in terms of benefits. Oh, let's toss in another $150,000 in terms of benefits, like insurance guaranteed. Some of the best. Some of the best. Anyway, that's neither here or there. What I'm trying to say is you're going to have to create the environment around you, start network, talk to each other. I don't know what you talk to each other over when you're having a couple of beers, but this is the only thing that should be on your mind is your survival, your own personal survival, because it's gotten personal. It really has. They openly told you to their face, I mean, to your face in a number of ways that they don't care. They told you through social media, as in you will own nothing and you will be happy. They told you through social media again when they said you must learn who's boss, meaning Americans. This is what your elite ruling class did. And you're going to have to separate yourself. You are so trapped in the social order that's under attack. Are you trapped by the boundaries of your own order now that you have created? Are you now hemmed in by it? Have you built a gate that locks people out as well as lock you in? Because that's how the gate functions. It locks you in and it locks everyone else out. It's not just there. You get it? You get it. Have you built this gate to the point that not even you can escape it mentally? The conditioning, I mean, the conditioning and the maintenance of the conditioning by your parents and your grandparents and the people within your social strata. Is that what you're saying? That you are just stuck and you can't move forward? Well, that's not an option for you. Because number one, can I be straight? You're not built for it. You're not built for it. Oh, don't get me wrong. You can be forced into it. And then it becomes a quick bill. And that's why you fall faster on the sociological street level than others do. You really do. And I think that we would agree because it's more than just culture shock for you. It's more than just traumatizing. It has to be traumatizing times three based on your conditioning and privilege. It's very harmful to one's mental state. Anyway, you're going to have to run for office, get to know each other. I mean, see what the issue is. Be selfish with it. See them as the enemy, and the enemy literally does not listen to or speak for you at all. Start to understand finances, government, capitalism on a level that you probably should have already achieved. There's no sense in you crying about it. It makes good sense to do it on social media, though. Why suffer quietly? I say, never suffer quietly. Never suffer quietly. It's like when I was in Colorado, and almost everywhere you went, there was people missing fingers. I mean, it was like it's not uncommon there to lose fingers from frostbite. And I was sitting outside one day, and I didn't understand it. Before I let my body to be harmed, well, that building is going to be opened. They may, use, I'm going to do what I have to do. I may stumble into the police department and refuse to leave, but I'm not being out there. But anyway, it's an epidemic up there. But you are going to have to enter the political fray. You do realize how many people up there are 30 years old, 35? How many? How many? And don't emulate others. You're going to have to engage in a type of political outreach that involves a bit of a populism and outreach throughout the masses. Throughout the masses. Maybe if you show up, we won't treat you like John Brown. You have a different class of people these days, a different class, but they don't have the leadership of capability financially. Or if you only knew how hard they fight to keep anyone out, they fight as hard to stay in. I mean, they fight as hard to keep you out as they do to stay in. It has two words should never be side by side: political career. Those two words should never be side by side. Yet you have these of people within a system, a governmental system that's built on turnover, and they refuse to leave. They have created relationships, understandings with each other, cliques, agreements that have nothing to do with the governance of you. In fact, they stopped governing you 10 years ago. They gave up. They can't govern you. They said you were spoiled. And yes, young man, they did lie to you, but they lie to everybody. And they've been lying to you. That's how I explain why racism won't go away. It's from every generation of parents, either unwittingly or subconsciously, passing on this trait to the point that in America, it, it causes this weird kind of anger inside of them that I'm trying to understand. You would think that they were the ones, the slaves. But anyway, as I said, slavery didn't only enslave the slave, it also enslaved the master, as you can see. As you can see, to this day, he hasn't got past it. So maybe you have to pick up the torch. Maybe you have to pick up where John Brown left off. Maybe. Symbolically. I'm not saying to go out and to try to take over a weapons depot. At least not yet. It's too early in the game. but but it could very well come to that, depending on a situation, on situational dynamics on a mass scale. At any rate, that's what you're going to have to do. And secondarily, they have to go. You must vote them out, everybody. There's nothing there. They have purged all good from both the Senate and the House. What I mean by good is people who would represent Americans. They have been purged. I mean, purged. So there's nothing there but those who would represent outside interests due to outside influence, super PAC money, dark money, pretty much legalized bribery. And I think they got tapes and audio on most of them. And they've indulged in some bad things. So basically, all you have to do, my friend, is show it after doing your homework and put your name on the dotted line. And this time, John, and it's going to be hard to trust us. I wouldn't. I would never trust such a man again. You know, I mean, I put everything on the line here. And now the Confederate soldiers is coming at me 500 strong because they want their weapons back. And I done kill these, and I'll kill the guards. Now I'm gonna die, John. That's hard to. That's one hell of a foundation to build any reciprocal trust on. I get it. But I can assure you that fundamentally you are dealing with a different type of Negro today, John. We'll show up. If you show up, get some skin in the game. In the meantime, consider writing your name in or your friend's name, scratching out their name, deface the ballot. That's the secondary option. Do it by the tens of thousands. Get together, select a few, or you select yourself. Write as a write-in of the candidate. They must count it. They have to count it. Okay? And at the very least, you have caused imbalance within their system of election, which is really based on something a little bit north of an algorithm. Enjoy the rest of your morning. I am Source. I am Seven. I am One.